Hey guys, welcome back to this week's weekly Forex forecast. Now, before we actually get into what we have here for today, I just want to give a shout out to everyone who actually came out and support our program last week, Monday, where we are still endorsing the theme Young but Conscious. We had a Javi FX and Crystal Witter, and we indeed had a wonderful time. Now, my loving people, for next week, we are going to be having Rajay Danvers and Zico Brown. So ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to miss this one. This one is also going to be an epic one. Please tune in at 8 p.m. and to miss is to diss. It promises to be exciting, it promises to be invigorating, and it promises to be inspiring. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, let us dive into what we have here for today.
Shut your mouth with a little bit of money. Oh, shut your mouth with a little bit.
Disclaimer that today's video is for educational purposes only. All views are my opinion and are not intended as investment advice. Forex is a high reward, high risk business, and you should not trade with borrowed money or money you cannot afford to lose. Any investments made in light of these ideas and opinions are committed at your own risk. Ladies and gentlemen, let us go to the markets. Now, as you can see right now, we are looking at the DXY. And you know, if you watched the previous forecast, you would have understand why we're actually looking at the DXY. And as a matter of fact, we have been speaking about the DXY for weeks now, saying that, hey, you know, the DXY has given us an impulsive move and a corrective move, right? And we're also seeing where the DXY is trying to replicate the movement here, where it's giving us impulse and correction and impulse once again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I am seeing right here on the DXY is that the DXY is currently sitting at a level of support. Now, what is a support? We all know what is a support. So it's either going to break below or we're going to be seeing rejection from the downside. Now, ladies and gentlemen, right, if we do end up seeing some form of indication that the market will be going up for next week, then we'd already know how we are going to trade the other currency pairs in regards to the ones that are affiliated with the US dollar. The possibilities that could happen here, right? Number one, this could actually be just a double bottom forming, right? Or, you know, the DXY could be gearing up to actually break below the support. We do not know. But my people, whatever happens, we will be prepared, because if the DXY decides to go up, then we know exactly how to go about trading that. If the DXY decides to break below, then we also know how to go about trading that outcome as well. So let's pay attention to what will happen to the DXY for this week. But my bias, my friends, is actually to the upside. So let us see exactly what's going to happen for the DXY for this week, okay? Now let's take a look at the famous, the loving, the great EURUSD. Now, basically what I am seeing right here for the EURUSD, as we have predicted from weeks upon weeks ago, right? We said that the EURUSD would be going up because we saw the breakout here, and the EURUSD is basically trying to push to new highs, right? Now, what are we expecting next? Well, you know, what I'm seeing right here is that the DXY does go up, then of course the EURUSD will come down, right? So
perfect.
Yes, excellent.
I'm waiting for my confirmation, right? However, my bias for the EURUSD for this week is to the downside. But let's see what's gonna happen for this week. Now, gold, I am actually still in the gold trade. For those persons who have been watching my weekly forecast so far, I am actually still in the gold trade, and we are doing well so far. However, if I do see some form of indication where the gold is now going to decide to move to the downside, then I might end up taking my profits and just ending this trade in totality. but I am still in the gold trade and it's going well so far. Now let's take a look at the GBPJPY. Right now I am seeing where the GJ, right, as we saw from a couple weeks ago, we saw where the asset was basically pushing up, right, giving us a very straightforward impulsive leg. Now what we're seeing right here is just a correction, right? It's possible that we could actually see the GBPJPY pushing to the upside for this week as well, right? As well as the GBPJPY could push down further to former support. But we need to ensure that we monitor, right, the movements in regards to the assets so we can actually know what direction they are heading into. But my bias for this pair is to the upside. Now let's take a look at the US oil. The US oil has not been moving, right? As we can clearly see, we have been we had this markup for weeks now, right? And we are still waiting for a official direction from the US oil. Until then, I will leave this asset alone. Now let's take a look at the USD CAD. It's really funny how the USD CAD has been playing games, right? The USD CAD has basically been within this range for the past week, right? We still have not seen a clear move in regards to the USD CAD. Only thing that we're seeing here is just, on the intraday time frames, we're basically only seeing scalping moves, able to capitalize on day trades or scalping trades, right? However, in regards to longer term trades, I'm not actually seeing anything here at the moment, so I will ignore the USD CAD for this week until I get a better analysis. Okay, now let's take a look at the AUD USD. Well, for this week I'm actually expecting the AUD USD to fall. We're gearing up to actually sell this asset, and I am waiting to sell the pair, right? My bias is just to the downside, and I will not buy the pair at this moment in time. If you choose to buy this pair right now, then you are already late. But let's see how it plays out for this week, my loving people. Now let's take a look at the Euro GBP. Now for this asset, things are I think things are gonna be interesting for this week, right? However, my bias for this pair is actually to the downside for this week, right? And if the GBPJPY does go up, then of course this pair will go down. For those persons who actually know about correlation, you will understand what I mean. Okay, so let's pay attention to the DXY, let's pay attention to the GJ and the Euro GBP, and we should definitely have a wonderful week for these pairs. If you are young and you need some motivation, as I said before, this channel is for you. So we not only offer forex tips or forex advice, but we also offer motivationals. So family and friends, I hope you enjoy the remainder of your week. I hope you enjoy your Sunday dinner, right? And I hope to see you Monday 8 p.m. where we will be live with Zico Brown and Rajay Danvers. Be blessed, everyone.